Sanjay, it's wonderful to hear about your profile. It's very interesting. So you must have gone through the cyber security, data security, crypto hacking, and so many things are here there. So this fireside thought will restrict to the topic. What I'm going to discuss, that is, cyber security breaches have been on the rise, and it's expected to that by 2023 they will grow to 15.4 million. While technological advances have made it easy for organizations to upgrade their security measures, malicious hackers are now using sophisticated tools. This means that in addition to implementing strict cybersecurity policies, you have to take proactive measures to reduce your cybersecurity risk. So on this backdrop, I want to ask you, everything that is at risk, how can you reduce cybersecurity risk for the organizations?
So I did a research. I thought and read quite a bit. And, organizations put a lot of efforts in putting up all kind of firewalls, all kind of equipments, DLPs, whatnot. They will be happy to invest huge amount of money on the capex.
Yes.
But the awareness is not there. So awareness, what happens is, if we see in this hall, there are 50% or 40% of the folks are not even listening. They're busy chatting their own back.
Yeah.
They're not even listening to it, and this is what the actual scenario is it happening at the corporate. When you're making the awareness, when you're making the things, they are just doing the tick of the box. And that's where the fraud happens, or that's where the data breach happens. I've generally seen there are two reasons. One is fear, and another is greed. So if you look at the fear, my CEO has sent me a mail saying that send this kind of $50,000 to this particular account. I will, probably give you all the details later. The person, even if he is a CFO, he is under the fear that my CEO has written this mail. He's not even looking at what the email domain is. Is the verbiage correct? Is the kind of normal verbiage which the CEO uses, does it contains those kind of things in the mail or not? Are there SOPs in the organization that before even making the payment, you have to create a vendor, you have to do certain things? No, there is a fear since the CEO has written a mail, the person will transfer that money and the money is gone. Second fear, you have not deposited your electricity bill, your electricity will be deducted by evening, deposit this money or call this number. Again a fear. The fear is the one of the largest area or the reason why the fraud will happen or a data breach will happen. Second is greed. Somebody is sitting there in Nigeria telling you that somebody died who has the similar family name or somebody and ready to give you millions of dollars, and this fraud has been there for ages. I think whenever we started thinking of fraud, this fraud has been always there. Still people are falling prey to it. I give you an example, a very interesting example. One of my friend, lawyer, he calls me, he's a partner with one of a very large law firm, I'll not name the person. He calls me, he says, Sanjay, my wife, who happens to be a banker, wife of a lawyer who happens to be a banker, has lost 2.5 lakh rupees because somebody from OLX, she was trying to sell somebody at OLX. Somebody cheated her by saying, I have deposited 30 rupees to reconfirm, pay me this money, and 2-3 transactions, and the money was gone. And I said, no worries, paisa to aa jayega. We will file a complaint and we will ensure that if there are no issues, we'll get the money back. He said, Sanjay, money is not the problem. This is the time when I've got an upper hand with my wife for next 3 months. My wife being banker giving this stupidity, but greed. Greed and fear are the two larger things which are important why the data breach or a fraud is happening. The awareness is an area which needs to be created, although government, RBI, everyone. In fact, we as a company launched a program with one of the FM channels just before the COVID for the awareness of this kind of thing. That do not give the OTP, do not use the public Wi-Fi. I think these are very, very normal and simple things, especially sitting in this room where everyone is so seasoned on the cyber security, but still people fall into this. And again, I'm sorry, I'm just going a little long, but I think this is a topic which is very, very close to my heart. When during the COVID, things changed, when there was not even a possibility of person taking his mobile phone into the office where he was using the computers, now the similar computer shipped back to his home and he was working in his home network. In the office, you had all the possible things where you had the firewall, you have the security, everything. At home, when was the last, you, even in this room, when was the last time when you people have changed the home router password? You know, if people can remember changing their home password last time at home, I think that gives all the answers why the data breach happens. So these are just my 2 cents on this.
Do you think the giving the visiting card will be over because people they say that in visiting card you have your mobile number, your email ID is there. Do you have anything thought about it? This visiting card process will go off?
So you're talking of business card, we're talking of Digi Yatra where they're saying your face is the boarding pass.
That is a dangerous thing.
We'll not go there whether it's dangerous or not.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is how the technology is taking over.
Yeah.
What is technology doing? Now, you know, last week I was in Dubai and we were discussing on similar thing in one of the forums. When we said that eye scan or retina is the only thing which cannot be replicated. But next day I was reading somewhere in one of the articles that there has been some incidents where the retinas have also been, you know,
Yes.
replicated. So what are we looking at? What is safe, what is not? In fact, I was telling one of the young girl in a law firm in Dubai last week that piracy is a myth. Everything you have, if you have a digital footprint, everything is compromised. One of my friend in Microsoft, he works with legal compliance. He has one very wonderful saying. He says, there are only 2 types of companies or people in this world. One, who know they are hacked. Secondly, who do not know they have been hacked. Everyone is hacked. You look at your mobile phone. Your mobile phone, go to the geolocation tag. It will give you last 10 years history of where you went, which hotel you went, how many times you went. You know, luckily our wives probably don't know this, but if they know it, we are all in trouble, right?
For that, there is a technology already available that is called rooftop computing.
See again, you can have couple of technologies, but then there are technologies which are going to supersede that.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, when we are doing the innovations to safeguard the corporate data, the national data and everything, we all talk of the AIMS attack, right? There was an attack, targeted attack on ICMR website similar day, where it was attacked 6,000 times. You know, we're not talking on that. Look at the robustness of that particular site and the place where it survived 6,000 attacks on the same day.
Yes. So we'll go for the next question, like how risk management is able to mitigate challenges of cybercrime.
See, risk management is, again, you know, a very beautiful term. And when we talk of the risk management, we should be talking of the enterprise-wide risk management. When we say, can only cyber risk management can do something? No. We have to look at, are we doing the background check of the employees? The background check, the people who are coming to your organization, they are your first wall of defense.
True.
If you're hiring the right people, then probably you're taking the first line of defense. If you're not hiring the right person, and forget about your own people. And you know, when I talk of the risk management, when I started my career 24 years back, I started my career with a detective agency, where we have gone and did the investigations and intel gathering at the ground level. I've also done gathering of the information from the trash outside an office. You know, now we people have shredders. We were also successful of getting a trash from a shredder manufacturing company where they were selling the shredders but not using the shredder for their own self. Coming back to the point that where is this information and how do you get it? That is more important.
Like, okay, good. So there is a growing problem over the loan app is in India. So why we cannot control this? This every day, even yesterday I got a call. You want a loan, something. So I think that each mobile phone is listening to something. AI developed that. So if you will talk about something about loan related issue or finance related issue or payment related issue in the mobile phone, it catches our data. So there's something related to that. that how these data are going to the people, those who are into this business. That's how they get the lead. Otherwise, why should I get a call for the loan? Can you throw some light into it, because you are the...
So I think what we again do is probably one, yes, there is some AI or there some redirect marketing which is happening. Because if you search something on the loan on mobile phone on your browser, it is capturing your IP address, and then till the time you're not taken the loan, it is redirecting that same thing to the other marketing apps. So that's a redirect marketing. Let's not go into that detail. But let's look at the root cause. One, again, greed. We need loan very quickly. We do not want to give them documents. Probably our CIBIL has been bad somewhere, and we do not want to pay that money to CIBIL, and do not want to wait, and we just want to easy money. That's the greed where we get into the trap. Second issue, are our banking system, we are talking of making India as 3 trillion, 4 trillion economy. Is our banking system so strong? Do we have so many banks even in country that we can achieve the target of 3 trillion, 4 trillion economy, what the Prime Minister is talking about? There is huge requirement of development of banking system in the country. You go to a bank, and we work with banks for asset search and frauds. A lot of banks, State Bank of India, private banks, and others. In fact, we have also worked on Nirav Modi case with PNB on the large fraud which has happened. I always tell to my banker friends, that while you are giving the funds to the people loan, if you are not doing the due diligence at that time, you could actually, when you're doing a due diligence at that time, you can safeguard this to a bigger time, right? But look at when you need to have a loan from the bank. They will ask tens of documents. They will ask you collateral, and they will not give you a loan. I'll give you a current example with my own self. We were looking at, so we are in our organization, we are looking at expansion, and we said, okay, let's go to our current bank. Let's look at enhancing of our OD limit. Bank said, okay, no problem. Your history is good. Everything is good. Can you give us some collateral? I said, okay, we'll give you collateral. So they took up 120% of the money which they're giving the collateral. They said, you and one of my other director, give the similar amount of check on your personal account. So they're taking security for 3 times. One is the collateral. I will give the similar amount of check, and my another director will give similar amount of check. I said, why? You already have a collateral. Now go back to the apps. You don't have to do anything. You just get the money. Greed. You do not want to comply that. So everything goes back there, right? So I think there are a couple of holistic approach which we need to look at. One, awareness. Greed has to go. We need to comply with the requirements of the banking system, and also the government and the private sector both has to clearly work for enhancement of the banking system. There is one more very, very important point, and I hope that somebody from the government should listen to this, and I've been talking on very, very big on this. When frauds happen, when data breaches happen, so ransomware, AIMS attack, it's once in a while, right? But generally, what are the large quantum of frauds? The social engineering, the people getting money cheated from OLX, Telegram, or other kind of apps. Where does this money goes to? Some bank account?
Yes.
Which has been opened through some mobile phone or something. 2 things if the government and the telecom operators and the banking system can do. Stringent the process of issuing the SIM cards. How come we still have the process of having the right KYC before you issue a SIM card, but 99.9% when we do fraud investigation, most of the time these phone SIMs have been issued in the forged documents. How is that happening in the country? Nobody is actually looking to the root cause. Similarly, how come the bank accounts are opened without a proper KYC? Why only these belts, which are primarily known as the belt in the Jharkhand area or the Mewat area or somewhere in the country, and now we have started seeing some areas in the eastern part of this country, Calcutta and others. Why these are the only belts where you can get n number of SIM cards on the forged documents and you can open the bank accounts on the forged documents? Tomorrow you go to any bank and ask them to open the bank account, they will ask 10 kinds of documents. How are these people able to do that? Why the government is not able to get a very robust system of KYC of the banks, bank account opening and SIM card issuance?
You're right.
Very
you're right.
basic.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to the endpoint security, putting up a lot of capex and other things. I think earlier speakers have in detail spoken about that, and we have a lot of technology. But can we look at these basic things?
Basic things, yeah. Right, Sanjay, you are absolutely right. Whatever the technology play, they will work on the data. So if you have not been cured from the root cause, then this kind of problem may happen.
No, why I'm saying is because I have been a fraud investigator my own, whole of my life. It is only by virtue of, since the fraud has been moved to the cyber side, I have to graduate myself into the cyber. And in my organization, if you really look at, like you were saying in the morning that you're not the cyber expert, I am the least cyber knowledgeable guy in my organization. I have team which does a lot of work. But if you look at the other side, the fraudsters, they are innovating every day. They are finding the new ways to defraud you every day.
Right.
Look at this electricity fraud which has been there. I was speaking on G Business a couple of months back when this fraud came. They find a new way that I will ask for an OTP for disconnection of the electricity meter. Another very interesting fraud which has come in is a delivery guy will come to you, say that I've come from delivery, Flipkart or Amazon. They will say, okay, you've got an order. And you will say, I've not ordered anything. They will say, okay, no problem. You will get an OTP, give me that OTP and we will cancel the delivery. The moment you give the OTP, the money is gone.
Finished.
Look at another very, very innovative thing. I don't know how many people have read that news. US alone suffers 10 billion US dollar loss because of the fake call centers which are there in India. What they are doing is they're making calls to the US, Australia, New Zealand, all other countries and making that money. That huge issue.
I know. These are call centers that are driving for the
10 billion US dollars.
Yes, you're right. So I think Sanjay, it is a very good input you have shared, and we are really thankful. I am sure that audiences in the hall, they must have good takeaways from things. Thank you, Sanjay, for joining
Thank you
the
so much.
Fireside Chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.